Welcome to The Explainer. Let's jump right in and look at something that honestly sounds a bit like a myth. Have you ever heard that famous joke about Egyptians having iron stomachs? You know, the idea that they can digest absolutely anything, even super heavy fava beans without a second thought? It's a fun cultural quirk, right? Well, today we're going to see how that exact cultural anecdote actually paved the way for a monumental, world-changing scientific breakthrough.
So we've got to ask, is this whole digesting iron thing just a myth, just a bit of local bragging, or is there actual hard science behind it? Well, to figure that out, we actually need to rewind and look at a massive, century-old debate.
Part 1. The Historical Identity Crisis.
For decades, people fiercely debated Egypt's true roots. It was literally a historical tug-of-war. Back in 1938, you had thinkers like Taha Hussein pushing a Mediterranean theory. Then, suddenly in 1952, Gamal Abdel Nasser heavily champions the Pan-Arab movement, totally reshaping the cultural map. Fast forward to 2011, and we see the massive resurgence of the Kemet movement, arguing for a hard return to ancient Egyptian roots. It was just this constant pendulum swing of national identity.
And these competing ideas, they were incredibly stark. On one side, Hussein envisioned a Mediterranean or European mindset, mostly to change Western perceptions so Europeans would view Egyptians as equals rather than backward subjects. But in direct contrast, you've got Ahmed Lotfi el-Sayed throwing down his iconic stance, Egypt for Egyptians. He pushed for a strictly independent national identity, zero following of anyone else's cultural lead.
Part 2. Corona and the genetics question.
So how exactly did this philosophical debate turn into hard science? Enter a totally unexpected plot twist, the COVID-19 pandemic. While much of the world was in total lockdown, facing grounded flights and devastated hospitals, Egypt showed this bizarre resilience. We're talking some of the lowest death rates in the region. They even kept flights active to export goods like fruits and veggies. The population successfully leaned heavily into herd immunity, basically dealing with the virus like it was just a passing cold.
This anomaly absolutely blew researchers away. It immediately sparked a massive mystery. Did unique genetics actually protect the Egyptian population during the pandemic? I mean, what exactly is going on in the genetic makeup of this population that let them endure a severe global health crisis so completely differently from the rest of the world?
Part 3. The Egyptian Genome Project.
To solve this puzzle, the state took unprecedented action, launching a massive scientific initiative to definitively uncover the population's genetic footprint once and for all. And the scope of this 5-year investigation is just absolutely staggering. Researchers didn't just look at modern DNA. No, they directly compared over 1,000 modern DNA samples, pulled from 21 different governorates across the country, straight against the ancient DNA of 13 actual Egyptian mummies.
Part 4. Results of the genetic footprint. Okay, so after 5 years of rigorous testing, the first major reveal drops, and it is a perfect match. The data definitively proves that modern Egyptian genes are identical to ancient Egyptian genes. This is especially striking in the Upper Egypt, or Saidi population, which proved to be practically a carbon copy of the ancient DNA. This completely shatters those long-held historical myths about population displacement over the centuries.
When you break down the genetics, you find that 70% is a shared Middle Eastern footprint. These are genes shared broadly with Arabs, Greeks, Italians, and Turks. But here is where the massive plot twist comes in, right there in that remaining 18.5%. Inside that specific 18.5%, the analysis uncovered a mind-blowing 17 million unique genetic variations that were previously completely unknown to humanity. Think about that. 17 million distinct genetic markers that literally exist nowhere else on the planet.
And here's why this matters. That unique 18.5% gene officially classifies Egyptians as an independent race. It firmly and scientifically resolves that century-old historical debate we looked at earlier. It proves a distinct, continuous lineage dating back thousands of years.
Part 5. The Future of Personalized Medicine.
Now, resolving an identity crisis is cool, but this isn't just about historical bragging rights. It's the absolute foundation for the future of healthcare. By understanding this unique genetic code, scientists can now develop personalized medicine tailored specifically to Egyptian DNA. We're talking mapping out future genetic diseases, proactive preventative care, and creating localized medicine instead of relying on foreign drug trials.
Oh, and yes, it finally provides a scientific explanation for that dietary resilience we talked about at the beginning. The iron stomach that lets them process foods like fava beans differently than the rest of the world. It's literally written in their genes.
But you know what makes this story even cooler? The people who actually pulled it off. This cutting-edge scientific leap, something achieved by only a handful of countries globally, was spearheaded by remarkably young researchers. In fact, the lead researcher behind this massive, history-defining genome project actually graduated in the class of 2019. The next generation is out there, literally decoding their own ancient history.
Which leaves us with this final thought. If unlocking a single genetic footprint can solve a 100-year-old identity crisis, map out the future of personalized medicine, and even explain a joke about an iron stomach, what other incredible, world-altering secrets are currently hiding inside your own DNA right now? Think about that for a second. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep exploring.